Enigma of Everlasting Sands. Once upon a time, in the far reaches of the kingdom of Arendelle, there stood a forlorn tower. Not just any tower, but a forgotten one, known only in the wisps of the oldest tales and the dreams of the most daring. Under the long shadows of twilight, the cobblestone silhouette of this ancient edifice appeared to stretch into the very cosmos, a testament to time's inexorable march. Its architecture, a marvel of unknown hands, withstood the erosion of the ages with resilient defiance. Inside this mysterious tower, encased within a cascade of crumbling tapestries and elaborate murals of a bygone era, resided the Hourglass of Eternity. As majestic as the dawn, the hourglass boasted grains of sand as fine as dust and as luminous as the brightest star. They ebbed and flowed from one end to the other, never ceasing, pulsating with an arcane rhythm. Each sand grain was said to embody a fleeting moment in the infinite stretch of time. Beside the hourglass, perched on a branch of an ancient, gnarled oak that grew within the confines of the tower, lived a wise old raven named Kester. Kester, black as the night and as ancient as the tower itself, bore eyes of keen intellect and understanding. The raven, with a watchful gaze as sharp as a falcon's, scrutinized all who dared to approach the tower, for Kester was the guardian of the hourglass. One day, under the blazing midday sun, a young traveler named Quincy ventured towards the tower. Quincy was a curious sort, brimming with a thirst for adventure that rivaled the vastness of the sea. Quincy's heart echoed with the tales of the old and the magic of the Hourglass of Eternity. As Quincy crossed the threshold of the ancient tower, Kester, the raven, tilted its head, observing this new visitor with an insightful gaze. Quincy, aware of the guardian's watchful eyes, held up a small, ivory token bearing the mark of the ancient scholars of Arendelle. Kester caught a hollow greeting, acknowledging Quincy's credentials but not yet granting permission to approach the hourglass. In the days that followed, Kester and Quincy engaged in discussions that spanned from the history of the universe to the smallest microbe's existence. Kester, in its wisdom, observed Quincy, not just for knowledge but for the young traveler's humility, patience, and resilience. Quincy spent day and night under the watchful eyes of the raven, absorbing the profound wisdom, demonstrating an unwavering spirit. The young traveler learned to listen to the wind, read the movement of the stars, and glean the whispers of the earth itself. Through these lessons, Quincy began to comprehend the true essence of time and its cyclic nature. As the cycle of the moon renewed itself, Kester finally broke the rhythm of their discussions and issued Quincy a challenge, a test to prove the traveler's worth. The wise raven asked Quincy to retrieve a golden feather from the elusive phoenix, Fahrenheit, who resided beyond the treacherous peaks of Galadorn. Fahrenheit, the firebird, was known to be as elusive as a wisp and as cunning as a fox. Many sought the phoenix's golden feather for its rumored powers, yet all failed to secure it. Kester knew the test would demand not just bravery, but also wit, humility, and respect for life. Quincy embarked on the arduous journey, crossing the dense forests of Eldritch, sailing across the furious waters of Dagon, and finally scaling the snowy peaks of Galadorn. Along this journey, Quincy did not simply endure but thrived, learning the language of the trees and the tales of the stones, rescuing a fawn trapped in a hunter's snare, and even sharing a meal with a solitary gnome. These experiences enriched Quincy's understanding of the world and the symbiotic bond of its inhabitants. Upon reaching the summit of Galadorn, Quincy found a cavern adorned with sparkling minerals and bathed in the warm glow of an ethereal flame. At the cavern's heart, preening its incandescent plumage, resided Fahrenheit, the phoenix. The phoenix, with its fiery gaze, questioned Quincy's intent. Quincy, imbued with the lessons learned throughout the journey, responded not with a demand but with a humble request, acknowledging the phoenix's autonomy and expressing the desire to learn. Touched by Quincy's humility and respect, Fahrenheit granted a single, golden feather. With a heart brimming with gratitude, Quincy embarked on the journey back to the ancient tower. As Quincy returned, Kester, the wise old raven, scrutinized the golden feather and then shifted its gaze back to Quincy. The transformation in the young traveler was evident. The eager spark in Quincy's eyes was now tempered with wisdom and humility. With a nod of approval, Kester flew towards the Hourglass of Eternity. The raven, using the golden feather, traced intricate patterns around the hourglass. As the final curve was drawn, the hourglass started glowing with a soft, golden light, its sands frozen in time. Quincy, looking at the frozen hourglass, felt a deep sense of fulfillment. However, instead of attempting to manipulate the hourglass's power to stop time, Quincy chose to respect time's flow, just as the young traveler had learned to respect the flow of life. In the end, Quincy's journey to obtain the power to stop time transformed into a journey of understanding the value of time. The young traveler left the tower not as a master of time but as a humble student, aware of time's cyclic nature and the value of each fleeting moment. And so, the ancient Tower of Arendelle continued to stand, its silhouette stretching into the cosmos, holding the Hourglass of Eternity and its guardian, Kester, ready for the next worthy seeker of timeless wisdom.